Hi everyone, welcome to day 5 of the 12 days of Pilates at Christmas. In today's session we are going to focus on feel-good stretches and flexibility. Okay, so if you start off taking yourself into a child's pose position, and if this isn't comfortable for you, just place a cushion underneath your bottom and you don't have to go as low. But try and sink your chest in between your knees. Just letting your elbows relax onto the floor, relaxing the tension out of the neck, the shoulders and the head. Deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Try and feel as if you can sink a little bit deeper into this with the relaxation around the hips, the knees, the shoulders, the lower back. And again, deep breath in, expanding wide through the rib cage. Exhaling to release a little bit more. One more. Good. So lengthen your arms in front of you, taking your elbows away from the floor. You're going to gently tuck your tailbone under, lift the pelvis and the head away from the floor, but you're going to raise up and take the weight towards your hands in your cat stretch. And then just sink it back, pushing your hands forward and away from you. Now sink back down into your child's pose position. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, start to raise your pelvis away from the heels and into your cat stretch, taking the weight to your hands and inhale, lower back down. Reach your hands a little bit further forward for this one. And again, on your next exhale, raise up. And you're going to start to unwind and just ripple your thighs and your pubic bone down towards the floor, lifting your chest and your head. And they're both pointing forwards, okay? So we don't need to be looking upwards towards the ceiling. It's a case of looking forwards through the chest bone and the head. You're going to very gently lower yourself down, so lower through the lower stomach and the chest and the head. Taking a deep breath in, lifting your head, your chest, your stomach, and as high as what you can personally go here with your flexibility, okay? Press your hands into the floor, draw your shoulders back to increase the movement that's coming from the mid-back area. Lower back down on your exhale, control this with your arms. It's a little bit of upper body strength too. If you need to, take your hands a little bit further forward. If this is too much of a stretch for your back and it's not quite ready for that, you can take your hands all the way up if you need to, okay? Inhaling, lifting, pressing up, chest bone facing forwards. Same with the eye gaze, and then softly lowering back down. So if you can take your left hand on the mat in front of you and just rest your forehead onto your left hand. Your right hand is just somewhere near it. You're going to bend your right knee, pointing your toes up towards the ceiling, relaxing the shoulders. Take a deep breath in. Now as you exhale, you're going to lift your right knee off of the floor, press into your right hand and try and reach your toes towards the opposite side of you, so somewhere towards the left. The toes do not have to reach the floor unless you're mega flexible here. And then gently lower back down and just kind of flow back down, so adding a little bit of core contraction there to just slow that down and decelerate. 2 more of those. So exhale, lifting the right knee off of the floor, pressing into your right hand and just trying to reach over towards that left side and then bring it back. 1 more. And just figuring out what your body needs today. It doesn't have to be, as far as I'm going. It could be something that's literally just lifting the knee off of the floor and barely any movement. Just see how flexible you feel today. But it's a case of figuring your body out and not pushing it too far if it does not want to go there. So now you're resting your forehead onto your right hand. You're bending your left knee and your left elbow is lifted up towards the ceiling. Left hand is on the floor, ready for you to push into it. Lift the left knee off of the floor and just try and rotate around, taking the foot somewhere towards the floor, towards the right hand side, and then decelerating as you lower. And then we go again. 2 more of those. So exhaling, pressing down, lifting the knee, and then sending the leg somewhere towards that right hand side. Keep breathing, try not to tense up. Inhale, exhale, lifting up and over. And you'll just feel the weight distribution change on the front of your hip bones. Bring the knee back down onto the floor. Good. You're going to lengthen both of the legs. Take both hands next to your shoulders, and you're going to lift yourself back up, lift the pelvis, and then just send your hips back towards your heels where we were in the starting position here. Good. So we raise ourselves up onto all fours, and I'd like you guys to just let your chest and stomach release down towards the floor. Let your head lift, tailbone lifts. So if you imagine the 2 sit bones as car headlights, the car headlights are facing upwards at the moment, so they're shining up towards the sky. When you go into your cat stretch, you're actually going to be facing the headlights down towards the floor, rounding the whole spine into a cat stretch. Now go back into your cow stretch, opening the chest, shoulders draw down, headlights are facing up towards the ceiling. And stay here with the spine. You're just going to let the head and the shoulders just relax and drop. I call this the lazy cow. Couple of breaths here. And then you're just going to sink your hips back. We're going to raise up briefly, but just take your left leg forwards, okay? There's going to be a slightly larger than 90-degree angle here, okay? Now what I need you to do is actually come upright, tuck your tailbone under, and keep the length through the spine. I may have cut my head off on the video slightly. But you are going to actually start to lean forward and then push back. So just a very gentle stretch through the right hip flexor, okay? So you're lunging into the left leg, taking it forwards towards the toes, okay? Just some gentle repetitions here. Slide yourself into that lunge as far as what feels suitable for you today. Take your hands onto the floor. And you're just going to breathe here and try and relax that back right leg. The more you relax it, the deeper you will be able to go here. So if you are holding on to any tension, do not push this. It is really about trying to relax into deeper stretches to then increase your flexibility. If you're forcing them, the muscles and tendons just will not go. You'll take a lot longer over, gaining flexibility here. Good. So if you feel like you are quite flexible, great. You can start to bend the back knee and then lower it back down, okay? If this does hurt your knee, please take a cushion underneath it for a bit more padding. But as you move into this extra stretch, you are not going to be lifting your pelvis away from the floor. Try and remain in that same position. And remember, if it's not good for you, just don't do it. Any of you guys who are a little bit more flexible than that, you can actually press into your right hand, rotate your chest towards the left leg, and reach back. Take your left hand around the right toes. Okay, and again, we're not lifting the hips, we're trying to stay in that forward stretch here to try and increase it. Maybe you can pull the heel a bit closer towards your bottom. See how you go. Okay, release that. Take the hands back to the floor, and you're going to press your hips back and only take your leg to a very slight bend, so it's not going to be fully straight, because you want to feel this stretch right into the muscle belly, and if you fully straighten it, it's more the tendons that start to overwork here. So lift up through the front of your left foot. You're going to start to circle your left foot around and then go the opposite way. Now, if that feels okay, hold it for a moment, straighten your spine, lift those headlights up towards the ceiling and open the chest a little bit more outwards towards the wall in front of you, and then go with the circles. Does that feel any different through the hamstring? And then reverse it. And then I'd like you to add in some window wipers. So you're just going to start to go from side to side with your foot and your knee. So there's a few different hamstring muscles at the back of your leg, and with this movement you're actually trying to locate all of them and create some glide between them so that they work more efficiently, and they are eventually hopefully going to be a little bit more supple. Great, finish off that last one. I'd like you to, I'm going to turn slightly so you can see, but you're going to stay in the same position, and what I'd like you to do is come upright, and you're going to take your right hand onto the floor. So you've still got your left leg forward, right hand comes to the floor and it's in line with your knee. So you've got both legs at about 90-degree angles. Push your pelvis forward. Your left hand is just going to reach towards the left, and you're going to take it up and over to reach over towards your right hand side. Press your right hand into the floor so it just lifts you up a little bit more, and then reach that left hand towards the leg in front and then back out to the side, and again reach it in front, back out to the side. One more, reach it in front, back to the side, bring it back. You're going to just sink your hips back and pull that left knee in. Then we'll switch over towards the right side. Okay, so we take our right foot forward, we come up tall first and just tuck the tailbone under. You're going to send yourself into a lunge and then pull it back in. Send it into a lunge, pull it back in. So that right knee is just going straight forwards towards the toes. Good. Okay, sink into this and hold it there as far that is suitable for you on this hip. Good. So if you can bring your chest towards your thigh, great. If you need to use some blocks, you can actually stack them up just to help you on each side. So deep breath in and out. Relaxing that hip towards the floor a little bit more, relaxing the back leg. Good, again, not forcing anything, just letting it be, seeing where the relaxation can take you. Good, and if you feel okay on this side, we can start to bend and straighten that back left leg. Just trying to increase the stretch across the front of the thigh and maybe into the hip flexor, depending on how tight you are. So if you are super flexible today with this leg, we can start to reach the right hand all the way around. Just wrap it around the toes and try and pull the heel a bit closer in towards you, but watch you don't lift your pelvis. Try and keep it in that same position where you ended up before. Holding it, 3, 2, and 1. Gentle release. You're going to sink back through your hips. Keep your chest glued to your thigh. A little bit of an angle at the knee, so we're not fully straight. And then we're going to lift up through the front of the front of the foot. So circle all the way around. Just a couple of times one way, a couple of times the other. Coming back into that lifted position, and then we organize the spine. So we push the tailbone back, or those sit bones are reaching back behind us. Chest is reaching forward, get some length through the spine, and then go for some more ankle circles. And then reverse it the opposite way. And then keeping the foot flexed, start to go into some window wipers once again on this side. So the foot and the knee are both moving. So you're really trying to get this deep rotation into your hip socket, which, as I said before, it's great for the hamstrings, but it's also really good for inside the hip socket where the hamstrings attach to.
Good. Okay, so we're going to then bend the front knee. You guys stay where you are. I'm just going to change my position so that you can see a little bit better. So we've got a 90-degree angle at both knees. You're going to take your left hand onto the floor next to your left leg. And then we reach the right hand towards the right side. So we've already got a bit of a stretch going through this upper hip here, okay? Tuck the tailbone under, push forward through the pelvis. You're gonna lift up and over and reach long through the fingertips, okay? You're actually lifting from the rib cage. Taking a deep breath in. And then as you exhale, just reach forwards towards your toes and reach back to the side again. We go for 2 more. Keep the pelvis tucked under. Try not to move the lower extremities. It's just the top half of your body that you're moving. Good. Finishing off that last one. And then we will lift back up, swing the leg back, sit onto your bottom. And you're going to lower yourself down softly to the mat. You're going to straighten your left leg, lift your right leg into a 90-degree angle and just take your arms out to the side. Deep breath in. As you exhale, you're going to lift the right knee towards the ceiling and then take it up and over the body. Your hand that it's moving towards is just going to gently wrap and rest over the thigh area. And hopefully you'll be feeling a little bit of a stretch here around the mid-back, maybe the hips area. Relax into this, see whether we can take the toes or the knee down towards the floor. Maybe you've got a couple of cracks out of your back. Again, deep breaths. Try and glue the shoulder towards the floor. So you don't want to be lifting the shoulder that you're twisting away from. And on your next exhale, just release that leg, take it back up. Place the foot to the floor, switch over to the other side. So the left foot is up into a tabletop position, so 90-degree angle. Deep breath in. Exhale, send the hip up away from the floor. The knee takes itself all the way over the body, and then we rest it at a point where we feel comfortable enough here. If this is quite hard, then you can always stack some cushions up underneath your knee, by the way. Okay, resting your hand on top of the knee. You can gently feed the leg a little bit closer to the floor, but just watch out that you haven't lifted the left shoulder away from the mat. Just keep it glued down, because that is giving us the stretch as well. So we open across the collarbones and chest. Good. And then on your next out breath, use the hand, assist the leg in coming up. Bend both knees, feet and knees together. We tilt the knees over one side. Raise back up and tilt the knees over the opposite way. Bring it back up into the center. Take your hands to the back of the legs. You're just going to rock and roll yourself up into a seated position. And we'll just finish off with a really lovely stretch for the hamstrings and the back, and possibly inner thighs as well. So, sit on your blocks if you need to, if you have them handy. We're going to take the legs out quite wide, okay? You're going to raise up tall, just walk your hands forward. Try and make sure your sit bones stay planted into the mat, okay? And watch out as well that your feet haven't started to draw inwards. We want them to be tilting outwards, okay, ideally. So take your elbows as close to the floor as you can get them. You might have to round your spine to do that, but then you're going to press into your hands. Inhale and open the chest. Elbows draw down towards the floor. And inhale, we open the chest. Exhale, elbows draw down. Last one, we press up. You're going to take your left hand, reach it up towards the ceiling, so you're turning your chest towards your left foot, but reach the hand over towards your right foot. Okay, you do not have to touch the toes or anything like that. We can just kind of hover here, but you want to be keeping the chest turning outwards towards the left to get the stretch in this side body, the left side body. Good. We take that left hand to the floor. We push the hands into the floor again, open the chest, lift the right hand, turn the chest towards the right, and then we reach up and over towards our left foot. Again, keeping the chest rotated towards that right foot here, reaching long through the fingers. Good, and then taking the hand back down to the floor, again pressing up and then stacking back up through the spine. Well done, guys. We will finish there for the day. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope it feels a little bit better. Keep trying it. If maybe at the latter end of the day it will feel a little bit better on your body once you've moved a little bit. So you might feel a bit stiff if you've done it in the morning. But either way, well done. And I will look forward to seeing you tomorrow.